Okay, we are, I think, just about ready. I need a few more things to set up, as in, just need to make sure my mic isn't too loud, make sure the desktop audio is working, but besides that, I think we are just about ready. I am doing this with low latency, so we'll see if there's lag, and if there is, we'll deal with it. Not sure what plane I'm looking for here. As in, I don't know what we're gonna do this in. I want it to be a longer flight. I'm gonna stick with the Cessna. I'm a little torn between if I want to do Venice to what was this again? Like Rome, or if I wanted to do Naples. Is this Vesuvius? Yeah. All right. So the plan I have for this is here's what we're going to be doing. So we have, holy smokes, we have this. I will be right. All right. I think what we're going to do is fly from here. Once we take off, I'm going to wrap around here because I don't think there's is there an airport near here that I could take off from? Because if there was, I would. I'm going to set this as the departure so we can fly by Vesuvius and land here, but I think doing this completely reset. Perfect. All right, we have our flight set up. Let me open up messages or chat. All right. There we go. Now it's time to see if chat's gonna work, or if it's gonna lag. And if it lags, then that's a new thing we get to fix. But you know what? This is a learning experience. All right, let's see. Okay, it doesn't look that laggy. That looks good. Okay. Alright, let's make sure we have our stuff sent to our avionics. Once we take off, we're going to... This has autopilot, right? Oh yeah, okay. Or, holy smokes. Did I pick the, is this G100 or 1000? Oh, okay, that's fine. Well, I'm gonna be a little goober, and we're gonna fix that real quick. I'm gonna actually start from here. That's better. And then we're gonna set it there. I don't know why or how I managed to. I don't want. Blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, guys. Should have set this up way before. Yeah, sorry, I wanted to do that. Go here. This is a weird bug with the shoot, what is I'm gonna forget, EFB, sorry, it's literally right here, where it will show the plane as somewhere it's completely not. It's a little frustrating, but it's not too big of a deal once you actually like click. It'll put you back on track, but in the moment it can get frustrating. So this will is there a longer departure? I think honestly that's fine. This is what we'll do. I think send that to the avionics, and it will take us by Vesuvius. So there we go. There we go. There we go. Now it's time to see if it loads or if it crashes. And honestly, at this point, I do not know. Okay, it works. Does it? Okay, there we go.
India, taking off runway 23 departure to the west.
Move that up a bit. All right. So we're gonna do. We're gonna stick at about 10,000 feet for the beginning. And for here, for the actual landing, we'll have, where's the, so, wait, I think that's where we go. Let me make sure. We're doing, yeah, Bento? I don't know how to say that. Either way. So that's right here, and that's 7,000 feet. All right. Let's just make sure. All right. I think we're ready. Probably should set vertical speed. Let's start with like 2,000. And I think that should be right, except for is auto throttle should just kick in once we do that. So we'll go flight plan. Where's that? That should be right out there. let's go. Oh, I do not have something binded. What do I not have binded? What? Really? It doesn't have the right engines bound? Alright. Well, that should be a quick fix. Go here. Down to power management, throttle. L-axis Y. Where was it? L-axis Y. And then inverse it. And then you can click go back, head to 4, which is right here. And we'll just do the same thing. We're not going to worry about having properly split throttles. Okay, well, besides the fact that we almost ran off the runway at the very beginning of this, I think we'll be fine. Alright. Now, hopefully, we get enough speed to actually be able to take off before the end of the runway. Because I would very much like to be able to take off. So and now flaps are up. Alright, we are in the air and should be headed to our destination. This is good so far. That's gonna come off. I'm gonna have it hold the speed here. I think this is gonna be a good spot. I think like 170. Now, I hit speed hold, and it's definitely dropping speed, so hopefully it gets its act together. I can see the auto throttle working. Now, it doesn't have an actual, because I assume the small buttons here would be what you use to turn auto throttle on and off, but I guess not. And especially for a plane of this size, you'd think that it would have a more proper system than just the speed hold button, but I don't know. I'm not a pilot. So our flight, I might have this pulled up in a corner, is going to be to, I believe Naples. Will be going by Mount Vesuvius, so excited for that. Get to see what that looks like. And if I do everything right, we should be able to, once we land, just set up our next flight, which is going to be I hope Vatican City, Rome, or something, whatever, but I don't know. The current goal is to literally just make it to the next place and land. That is, like, quite literally my only goal, is to survive. We want to, by the time we get to where we're going to be coming in for landing, we're gonna want to be at 7,000 feet, because, and remember, everything I say, I sound very confident in it. I honestly, I am not anyone to take advice from. Is right here is the, where I believe the onboard systems on the plane will get the localizer, like, it does some magic, and basically the plane will know how to land. I would go into more detail, but I don't really understand it all. This is all stuff I'm still learning. I know how to get from A to B sometimes, and that's what matters. Which, now that I think of it, would be an absolutely terrifying thing to hear from your pilot. Like, hey, I mean, I know how to get you there. Now, I don't know what any of these buttons do, but I can get you there. It's like, at that point, I'm just walking. I don't care if it's, like, another continent. I'm walking. Alright, so we're just about at 10,000 feet. So that's... Okay, we have a helicopter outside. Quite lovely. They know what I did. It's the cops. Alright. And... Wait, does this have speed brakes? You can see right here, like, the graphics are tweaking out. It's supposed to be the, I guess, I don't know. I don't know what shadow, is making it tweak out like that, but, it's so weird. I gotta stop unplugging my, flight system, because every time I do, it completely gets rid of my keybinds for it. So I gotta watch out for that, you know. All right, so hopefully yep, all right, there we go. So it should have us turn here, and we should, if everything goes right, up here see Vesuvius. Let's actually, does it let me, is there a, well, if I do that, it'll exit, so don't want that. And I believe maybe my camera, because also cameras in this game, look, if I is it showcase? Whatever. Anyways, there's Vesuvius right there. Man, you know, I'm starting to wonder if maybe, because, so the way Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 works is it's streamed. It's basically all on the cloud. So none of the stuff that I have for the game is like on my computer. Like, everything I'm playing is being streamed from a server. So I'm wondering if maybe part of it is the amount of data that's being streamed to... Am I having a stroke? I cannot think right now. But to be fair, can I ever... I saw the viewer count. The minute I said I had a stroke, I looked down and I was like, oh, okay, we just gained a viewer. Is that what needs to happen? Do I need to start having strokes during? So yeah, there's Vesuvius right there. I can also... There we go. So also, oh wait, let's see if I have any problems with chat itself. All right. So I just hit a random button on my mouse. We might crash and die, but low key, that's the journey of a pilot. Am I right? All right. What? Oh, is my light getting? I'm looking at my stream that I have. Chat is good. Okay, let's go. I really don't know what this was. I hit a emote. I just like, chat's good, and I'm just like, hooray! All right. All right. So, at what point do we want to start descending? So that's, we want to get to there at 7,000. I honestly do not know. I'll probably start when I'm like 10 nautical miles away. We'll start. I probably could set it up now. I don't know if that's just gonna instantly. No, we should be good. So we won't start descending until I actually tell it to. And now we're headed to, after we pass here, I want to see what we're headed to. I gotta do Challenge League. I'm low-key falling off of the leaderboard, and I need to film a new episode, so I 100% need to do that during this stream, because I did it in the last, oh holy smokes, that sounds so bad. I recorded the I did it, that's crazy. I recorded it during one of my past streams, but it didn't come out how I wanted to, so I think I'll use the stream as well to film it. I also need to yeah, I think filming it is all. So now we're headed to the place that we're going to be intercepting. The I think IAF stands for intercept approach frequency. I don't know, though I could be wrong. If someone in chat knows what IAF stands for, then and could tell me, that would be amazing. I think it's intercept approach frequency, but I do not know. Now, at how far are we? We're like so once we get, or actually, I'm gonna do that now. We're gonna start descending. And I wonder if there's a way in this aircraft to actually tell when you're gonna reach, because I've seen on some, what they do is like you'll see a green little oval shape on the map where you're going to reach 7,000 or the set altitude. So I wonder if they have it for this one, and I'm just not at a steep enough angle, because if we do so Okay, so that's gonna, it's guessing it's gonna be 7 minutes, so in that case we could do I'm not doing math right now, but also Vesuvius, let's see it. There we go. How's audio sounding? Does audio sound okay? Is it too loud, too quiet? Is it picking up stuff it shouldn't? Like background noise, or is it okay? Okay. Dude, it's so nice having low latency, because before, if I have normal latency for a stream, it takes a good solid maybe minute for me to actually receive chat messages, which is so confusing, because like someone will send like 5 chat messages and I'll respond to the first one and they'll receive it by the time they send like the 5th one, and it's like, ugh, so confusing. But this is better. I also think we are 5 minutes. Does it let me change? Okay, there we go. So that should be good. We're so I from what I assume this is saying is it's like, all right, I have pulled up on another screen. I have basically a guide to all of this, which is really ironic because, or not ironic, I completely forgot the word, but like a little terrifying, considering like I always go back to the thought of like you're in a plane and you're like, oh yeah, can I go see the captain? And they're like, oh sure, which would never happen, but like you go and you head to the cockpit and it's just the captain and co-pilot sitting there with like a BuzzFeed article on like how to land a plane. That's basically me right now, except I'm not using BuzzFeed. I don't know why that's the first thing I thought of. I don't think BuzzFeed talks a lot about aviation. Is BuzzFeed even a thing anymore, or is that kind of like a non-existent thing? I don't know. It's been forever since I've heard about BuzzFeed, so let's do. I could change the stream name to Learning How to Fly, and also, oh, I could do a career mode, or career mode stream for this, but career mode is a whole nother chapter of like confusing and bugged and glitchy, which might be good for stream. Okay, so here's what. Wait, oh, I completely messed that up. nav, and now approach mode should be on. We can turn on heading and kind of point ourselves towards it. This is just what I found that works sometimes, but I don't know. The way I know that it's working is when I see heading modes turned off. That's like how I know it's locked, the like the localizer and everything's working. But once again, I am not a pilot, nor do I know at all what I'm doing. So and if it doesn't work, I would just land this plane myself, which, goodness, that would not be good, because I yeah. Fun fact, my birthday actually, if you got a list of every plane crash that ever happened and got the date that they happened, then a majority of them would have happened on my birthday, July 17th. Pretty interesting. I started switching altitude instead of heading, so that was something. I just know for a fact, out of the like 3 viewers, one of them is somebody who actually knows a bit about aviation, and they're just screaming at the screen like, "What are you doing? That's not how you do it." Okay, there you go. So that's that. Now what in the world? Yeah. It's at this point that I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. The plane has taken over. It's doing its own thing, and I think it should be on the glide scope, as in or it should start descending, but it's over here doing like an Irish jig, flying left and right and left and right and left and right, with all the passengers in the back being like, so I don't know. I might just, I think I'm just gonna let it do its thing. So we're headed to, okay, we are way too high. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go straight down. That's gonna be the solution. We're headed straight down, like directly down, as in like, and I also probably just cranked up the dude, imagine being on on a plane and you're like, wow, we're really high, and then oh my gosh, dude, I'm actually gonna have a heart attack, because my sister is in the other room with a volleyball, and she throws it against the wall, and every time she does that, like, it just scares the living daylight out of me, and it's like, it's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. Still really off the glide scope. I'm just gonna set it to 0. try to catch up with it. Once again, anyone who's joining now, because I see the viewer count is switching, I'm not a pilot. I don't know what I'm doing. The way I fly planes is I hit buttons until stuff works, which is also how I learned how to drive. I'm kidding. I am a great driver, unless there's like a kid on the side of the road, in which I can't make that joke. Also did that way too early, but you know what? Planes were made to be crashed. Which sounds very, very, like, I'm not a terrorist or nothing, but, okay. So, hopefully if I do this right. Oh my gosh, 4 people who are here are gonna see the worst landing, or you know what, forget. Okay, there we go. So it should be good. It's doing its thing. Y'all just watch as I become like, this is like Sully if there was no problem with the plane and he was just a really bad pilot. And okay, well, I refuse to defame my man Sully, but this is like, someone did not like that. Oh, low key, I probably should be like giving the plane power, because I I just forgot, and I look at the speed and it's like this close to the little stall line, and I'm like, oh yeah, I still have to fly the plane. Alright, so I'm gonna, now I can start slowing down. And also, I'm turning off autopilot, and you guys get to watch. This is it. This is where I land, and I become, like, honestly, the best pilot to ever have lived. I had to check to make sure my landing gear was down, because one too many times I have landed without my gear down and sent to reality very quick. Oh yeah, I forgot I'm supposed to be flying. So okay, it wasn't that bad. Probably should also move this mic a bit farther. But there you go. There was, I honestly think that might be the first landing I've done on a stream. So we're gonna pick the next location now. And I need suggestions. Y'all, I need a suggestion. I don't care, literally anywhere in the world except my house, because there's a non-zero chance that one of the 3 viewers is someone I know, and if I would much rather not dox myself, even though I probably already have in one of my shorts on accident, although I doubt it. So also I need to change the stream name, because it's still called Italy Flight, I think. No, we're not we're not flying to my house. We are not doing that. All right. We are not we're not flying to my house. Oh yeah, that's, the world is so terrible. The world is, it is a hard life. All right. I'm gonna fly the airship. No. What plane? What plane would be a very hard plane to land? This plane. I hate, like, this out of all planes. I'd probably say this plane right here is what I hate with the most passion, because it is a tail dragger that landing it is, for me, like, just unusually like difficult. And let's see, let's fly to Brazil, or not to Brazil, that would take a while. Let's do, wait, okay, unironically, this might be, hold on. Somewhere over here is where I stayed when I was in Brazil. So let's go from there to here. This is also the airport I landed in and took off from when I went to Brazil. So 37 minutes, that should be good. And I have to. So when I went to Brazil, I flew the Dreamliner, or not, I didn't fly. If I had flown any plane in the past, I would not be here streaming. I would, yeah. We're gonna fly from, let's do, so also apparently France owns there's a little area over here. I don't know where, but I'm pretty sure France owns it. Never knew that, and that's pretty interesting. We're gonna, yeah. Let's take off from, okay. Did we just freeze? No. Okay. All right. We have our plan. This is what we're doing. Taking off from there, and we're gonna land at there. Do I know how to pronounce any of it? No, because I am a silly American. All right. Man, this is... Okay, we up to 5 now? 5 people. Okay. All right. I ain't got a problem with that. I think that's the most we've been at ever. 5. Okay. And I assume... Let me switch to chat so it's all messages, so I can see everybody. All right. Anyone who's just joining now, I'm not a pilot. I don't know how to fly. I hit buttons until it works. And this is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, so if you've heard anything about it, expect bugs, expect glitches, expect everything. This is a unfinished game that got released, in my opinion, in my honest opinion. It's still a good game, but you know, oof, that voice crack was horrible. I am so sorry. That was, oh my gosh. So I think this is pretty much completely set up as I would want it. Let's do, I'm gonna do 30,000 feet with 2,000 feet per minute for the takeoff and for cruise speed, we'll do 320. Ignore the banging in the background. Which, holy smokes, I keep saying stuff that's like so out of context would sound diabolical. Alright, there we go. We'll do... Yeah. Let's go. Y'all can take a guess on how long you think I'll survive. My own guess will be 3 minutes. That's how long it's gonna take for me to crash a plane in quite a nice. Out of all planes, I probably would say, like, in real life, my favorite to fly in is probably the Dreamliner. The Dreamliner is such a nice plane. "7 minutes. Okay, all right. Someone is very optimistic. There we go. That should be basically right setup wise. We should be doing everything right, I hope. Let's see how long we have. So from here to there, how long does it estimate? 353 minutes. Okay. Wait, did I... ILS? Well, why is it set up to the wrong runway? So it says I'm landing on 35. It has me for 11. Like, no. We do. Let's see if this will mess everything up. Nope, that should be fine. And when we come down to save charts, we can do ILS here, and we'll be going in here. So flight level 50. So, oh goodness. Flight level 50 translates to... I gotta look it up. But uh-oh. So if that's 500,000 feet, that would be... I also... That's just the first thing I saw pop up, so I'm going to assume that's right, because everything on the internet's always true, 100% of the time. Also, you should give me all your money, because... Did I turn my speed? This is like... Alright. That should be... basically set up. I think we will oh yeah, I need to figure out the max altitude of this liner. Max altitude is, what is it? It's like, wait, there's no way I'm doing something wrong, because according to this, the max altitude for the plane I'm flying is no, the Dreamliner's max altitude is not 6,000 feet. That would this is all right. So Okay. Okay, I understand now. So it's gonna be once we reach our cruise altitude, we'll stay there until. Oh, I didn't even see the arrival. What are we running for? Um, our arrival. That's. Do we even? All right. I think that's where we. Yeah. So we're gonna be. Here's where our arrival is gonna be basically. Also, I can turn that up to like 350. Um. I just don't understand the whole part where it's like, by here, I assume it wants me to be at flight level 120, so that's like 12,000 feet, and then I have to drop altitude and be at flight level 50, so that's 5,000 feet by here, but that's only 28. I yeah, 28 nautical miles in between. So within 28 nautical miles, I have to drop like twice the height basically I'm already at. So it's like I don't know. That's part of the learning thing. I just have to figure out what um what my vertical speed would have to be here in order to do so. I think if I got here and because earlier I talked about the fact that some I want to do 25. Some displays in newer planes have a little green line to show you when you're gonna reach a certain point, and for this it'll be to indicate when we'll reach 25,000 feet or 25. I think. Yeah. So we'll see. Actually, if I go here, you can actually see it right here. So this line right here is indicating to me that once I reach it, I'll have gotten to my desired altitude. And if I was to turn that down, it's going to go way up because that means I have a way farther distance to go until I reach it. So I'll set it to 28, or yeah, 2,800 feet per minute, which will bring it a bit closer. And get that to a speed it actually can reach. So that's basically what that's for. As for actual other things on here, it's pretty self-explanatory. You have the GS, which I think in this instance also means ground speed. So that's your ground speed, and then this is the so GS I think stands for ground speed, and TAS stands for something airspeed. Now I'm interested. TAS. Don't it doesn't mean that. I know GS means ground speed, but I'm not sure what TAS means. That's my something. That's my something. That's my something. See, so as you can see, I'm clearly a professional pilot, as I know all these terms. Like this right here, that's the thing, that's it, that's, you know, that's something, that's some numbers. I am quite the pilot. No, but this is the range, so that's how far my display is showing out. The, like, something that just passes here would be at about 40 nautical miles. And then the 20 indicates halfway, which is half of 40, which is 20. And these are all waypoints that I'm hitting along the way. Now, if I go here, you can see that this is very early in the beginning. I assume that, like, in reality, I'm probably gonna be streaming this flight for, oh man, definitely over an hour, so I'll have a very high amount of people who stop by and then leave, and that's good. Let's see. I'm gonna get something to drink real quick. Alright. So we now reach 25,000 feet, which is our cruise altitude. Let's see. Are we at an altitude in which we'll have contrails? No. I just hit a switch. I have no idea what it did. I'm like actually on my flight controller. I think I hit something, so I just depressurized the entire cabin. No. That would be I don't know when my landing lights are on. Strobe lights. The passenger seatbelts, the trick is to always leave it off. It's a it's the survival of the fittest. So if someone dies because they don't put their seatbelt on, you just have one weakling out of the gene pool. That's the actual trick. Now, this right here is probably arguably my favorite part of of Boeing planes, is the heads-up display. I really like them. Now, the way they show them in this game is, or not this game, specifically for the Dreamliner, is frustrating because they have it totally scaled wrong. So if I'm just looking at this from the default view, you can't see everything that's there. I would actually have to move closer, like that, or go here and move my head up and side to side, which gets kind of frustrating. They have something that goes like this, where I can go like move forward, but even then it's like, that's just annoying. And then they have a front view. Holy smokes. Chat, I was wrong. They have a button that does exactly what I want it to. This is amazing. But in all seriousness, I feel like this just doesn't feel like it's scaled right. I don't have a say in it. I'm not a engineer, or at least that's what you think. I might have built this actual plane in real life, and next time you fly on it, yes, if you ever fly on this plane, I've made it to detect your face, and halfway through the flight, your seat gets ejected. That would be wild. They should add ejection seats on passenger planes. But, oh, dude, hold on, let me pull up the photo. Where is it? It's this is the funniest thing, like, actually ever. It's basically, Streamlabs, what is it? It's hilarious. The concept of it is like, just hilarious because, okay, this is actually low-key driving me insane. Streamlabs is being a little bit of a goof right now. Okay. Here we go. So, where is it? Yeah, alright, here it is. So, the idea of this this plane existing, I absolutely love it, because it's like, you're like, the passengers, sure, they're safe, because in theory the part that shoots off of the plane has like a parachute on it or whatever, but the pilots, bye, you're gone, bye pilots. And I just it's like, I don't know, it feels like a weird take on the trolley problem of, like, would you sacrifice one person for 400? But there we go. Back here you can see, let's see if there's anything else cool in the Dreamliner I want to talk about. We have, so something that I find interesting is that they don't simulate absolutely everything. There's a huge amount of buttons and screens and I said buttons already. I'm a little silly. That there's a ton of stuff that they simulate in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, but I feel like stuff like this, where it's like they don't simulate like the terminal charts, that's super easy. All they'd have to do is have this basically be a reformatted version of the EFB, because then all you'd have to do is when you click it, it would just take you to like here, and it would, that is airport parking chart, and have it take you to somewhere like this, which is super easy, and I don't understand why they couldn't do that, but that's just a little complaint. And it's like the same thing with this stuff. Like, I really wish that I could use this, but those don't work. As for other things, I feel like, we have to set the nav up. So ILS, GLS, we have to go here, click this little button, and it'll have a little number on top right here, and it's 108.7, so we click 108.7, and we see that it's shown right here. Then you click here, and you basically have it set up now to where you're on the ILS frequency. Now, I think you usually do that once you're closer to the airport itself, but, you know, it's fine. Let's see, I wonder what live weather looks like. It's Brazil, so it would be night, I assume. Honestly, that doesn't look bad. Weather, though. Oh, okay, well, our plane kind of got thrown as it loaded in, but I think we might do this. This actually looks better. Close that. Where's the lights? Foot heat? Okay. I didn't know pilots were freaky like that. You know, I actually, as I wrote the title for the stream, I was like, I wonder how many people are going to think it was that, because right when Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 came out, I remember I went to search it up and I instantly abbreviated it to MFS 2020, and I did not, the first few links were not for the flight simulator. I will tell you that. Do not search that up. So that would have been a very hard explanation to give. anyone. So I'm trying to, okay, floodlight. Let's do that. We'll do. Yeah, I know. In the moment, I was like, it's just Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I do it, and I'm like, oh my god, that is not Microsoft Flight Simulator. Oh. But yeah, now I'm just interested in what you're doing, clicking on it under that impression. No, I'm messing with you, man. I know what type of man you are. Also, oh wait, I keep looking down because that's where. Oh, I just noticed every time I start leaning, I'm leaning off screen. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. What's my stream thumbnail? Oh, okay. I have I have two like choices when I do thumbnails. It's either just a really random up close picture of my face or a really random up close picture of Moist Critical's face, and that's what I did yesterday. I when I streamed, I had it was just a zoomed in picture. Actually, now that I think of it, I'm gonna change it right now. I think that's what I meant to switch it earlier, but you low-key just reminded me, so it is updated. Oh, because I think it's funny. It grabs people's attention. There's people who watch Moist Critical. They see the picture of his face, just a picture of his face, and they'll see that it's not from his channel, but usually that can grab their curiosity, and they'll stop by for a second or two. And like, also, why not? That's why I think it's funny. Let's see, what is there? What are some funny buttons I could press? Dude, I could not be a pilot in real life. If I was a pilot in real life, you better believe like every single button here would get pressed in the middle of the flight. I'd be like, just like running my hands through the switches, just like flipping every single one. Okay, I'm meaning to save these stories for a video, but I'm gonna start sharing them now because I think they're hilarious. So I'm going to switch the I'm gonna keep the actual flight up, but I'm going to minimize that and then get me and make this a little bigger, and yeah, we're gonna do this right now. Alright, so we'll have that in the corner and me talking right here as I share this absolutely amazing story. So last year I went to, let me move this out of the way, or not last year, 2 years ago in the summer I went to Brazil with my youth group, and I'm not going to use any names here. I'm not going to name anyone who I was with because I'm not trying to give out personal details, but the address of each person was 295, no, I'm kidding, I'm not doxing anyone yet. So, oh dude, Brazil is awesome. It is probably my second favorite place to travel to, but I'm getting so off topic, so let me move my microphone. So 2 summers ago I went to Brazil, and it was with my youth group for our missions trip. And well, side note, every single flight that we took, which was I think 4 in total, So 1, 2, or wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 flights in total. And during those 4 flights, every single one was either delayed or late or those are the same. Either way, they're all delayed one way or another. And during one of these flights, and this was the super long flight. This is the flight from we flew from wherever we started to Texas, and from Texas we flew to Brazil. And whilst we were flying from Texas to Brazil, the flight was, if I remember right, 17 hours. It was long, and it was in the same exact plane that you see flying right here. Like, it was like literally this plane. It's the Dreamliner. And as we're going during this 17 hours, I am, needless to say, a bit like sitting down for 17 hours with nothing to do. It drives a man insane, and especially when said man has unbelievable ADHD. So I'm like, man, my legs are really like tired. I want to get up and do a little walk, and it's like I probably could do a little loop around the plane. It's not that bad. So I get up and I start like kind of walking up the aisle, and the first, yeah, what a flight. And the first sign that I should have seen that I shouldn't be doing that was when I started getting weird looks from first class, because you're not really supposed to be walking up into first class. And it was, I think at this point 12 hours in, and like middle of the night, I'm tired, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do a quick little loop, just walk around. And I do that, and needless to say, apparently it kind of looked like I was trying to rush the cockpit. So I was told very, with, in all honesty, very politely by the flight attendant. I was told, you can't do that. You have to go sit down. And I was like, okay, I completely understand. And I walk back to my seat and I sit down. And now I just sit down, and it's like an hour or two goes by, and I'm like, okay, I have to use the restroom. I'm gonna get up, just walk to the bathroom, use the restroom, and then come back. So I get up, I walk, I use the restroom, and as I start walking back to my seat, that's, it was, and I have, like, how many people? I think 25 people went with me. I have 25 people who are all my alibi. And like I said, I used the restroom, and as I start walking back to the seat, the plane just shook just a little bit, and I fell, and I have had 1 or 2 nightmares of this since I got back from Brazil, and it is, like, quite honestly, one of the most embarrassing moments of my life, because I fall and I kind of like land on, like, I catch myself with my hands, and as I look up to see if anyone noticed, of course everyone noticed. And there's 2 aisles like right here, and I had been walking through them, and every person in both aisles just stopped like what they were doing and all looked at me, and I'm just on the ground, and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh no. It was so embarrassing. It was quite embarrassing. So needless to say, I sat down for the rest of the flight in my seat, and I did not get up. I did not look at anyone. I did not talk to anyone. And oh my gosh, how did I forget that? At the very beginning of the flight, it was already later at night, and they gave us dude, I need to turn the chat moderation down just a bit, because anything with a curse word in it gets held for some reason. But at the very beginning of the flight, they give us our dinner, and it's the Dreamliner, so it's already a really nice plane. They give us like a very, very nice meal, and I finished my meal, and the person next to me finishes their meal, and they didn't eat part of the they didn't eat the bread that they got. And I was just a little bit hungry, and I was like, hey, are you going to eat that? I'll have it if you're not going to. And they're like, oh, totally, and they give it to me. And someone next to me sees this, and apparently in their brain, this was the equivalent of a poor, starving little child asking for food. And they wanted to be a good Samaritan, so they gave me their food. And within, I don't know, 3 minutes, I had the row I was sitting in, the row that was in front of me, and the row that was on the other side of the aisle all gave me like half their food. And it's like, dude, I'm not a starving child. I'm flying in a quite an expensive plane. It's like, and they're over here just giving me all their food. And I was like, and I didn't want it to be like, all right, guys, I take it all back. So I just had to sit there and eat it, and it was interesting to say the least. Now, like I said, it was a long flight, 17 hours, and they had this in-flight display, and the in-flight display would pretty much let you do anything. They even had like a text thing where you could message other people in the flight, which was pretty cool. And about okay, so they were all giving me their food because I had asked someone if they were gonna eat something because it was just like a little piece of bread that they decided not to eat, and I was like, I might as well not let it go to waste. And I asked it. I was like, could I have it? Because if you're not going to, I'll have it. And they gave it to me, and someone sees that, and they thought that I was just like a hungry child or something. So then everybody was trying to be nice and give me their food, and it's like, okay. It's confusing. But we had this in-flight display, and actually, you know what? Now that I think of it, if I actually go back to here, I can actually probably move into the cabin and show you, which would be insanely cool. Oof, that is some lag. Alright. Oh, do I not have the light on? Pardon the actual lag. That is so ominous. Holy smokes. Please don't look at me, mate. I'm sorry. Yeah. Look, just look away. I completely forgot to turn on the lights in here, so it's just people staying in the dark. This is like a horror game. Why is Microsoft Flight Simulator so terrifying? Sorry, this is so loud. I'm being so loud right now. Hey, guys. Hey, sorry. You know what? There has to be a quicker way. We're gonna go... Let's check camera. It's probably external. Or wait, not showcase. Oh, wait. Okay, perfect. Uh-oh. I just hit a Z. What's Z do? Alright, well, we might crash. Anyways, so, as you see, this is, does this let me... This doesn't let me zoom. Either way. So, oh, another cool thing about the plane is that they don't have window shades. They have buttons that you push, and it tints the window. But these screens you see right here are what we had. And I'm going to give a viewer a seizure or epileptic episode if I don't do it. Yeah, right here. So, pardon the light. I'll switch it. But this button right here is what you push to basically change. Holy smokes. Is there a person right next to me? Like I said, this is like literal horror. Alright. We'll go back here so we ain't giving nobody seizures. And I'll move back to this view. But they have these fairly large displays that you can chat with people or watch a movie or whatever. And we're like probably 13 hours in, and I did not sleep for the entire flight. It was literally like basically it felt like a day because you left when it's night and you landed when it was morning, so it felt like a day. But I text one of my friends who came with me on the trip in the youth group, and I'm like, hey, are you still awake? Because everyone else is asleep. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, are you just like staring out the window or something? And they're like, no, I'm watching Frozen for the 7th time. I don't know how this man did it, but he watched Frozen by the end of this trip, or by the end of the flight. He watched it, I would assume, if I had to guess, maybe 12 times, or however, like, because the minute the flight started, don't like take me for like as a fact, but he watched Frozen like I would have to say probably at least 10 times or however many times you can, he did. And that was insane. I was like, dude, this plane, the entertainment system has like literal hundreds of movies that you can watch, and you're deciding to watch Frozen like over and over and over again. I gotta respect it. That okay, you know what? I'll give it to him, and I think flight wise that was pretty much the all the stories of what happened. What is this guy doing? That is a great question. What am I doing? What was he doing? What is any of us doing? But once we got to Brazil, it was a really good trip. It was a like I said, mission trip with our youth group, and for I think it was about 4 nights, maybe 3. The way that we slept was inside of a the ministry building that we were working with, and they had bunk beds, and it was enough bunk beds for everybody, so no one had to like share bunk bed. It was all good. You'd have one person on bottom, one person on top. It was perfect. One night, everybody is basically asleep, and I'm there, and all the lights are off, and I'm like, man, I have to use the restroom. So I hopped down from the top bunk where I was sleeping, and I start navigating my way through all the suitcases, and it's completely dark. I can't see anything. And I go eventually make it to the restroom, use the restroom, and as I'm walking back and navigating through the suitcase maze of all of our suitcases, because it was kind of messy. I will be honest, I didn't put my suitcase under the bunk bed, so all of our suitcases were just like lined up everywhere, and it's pitch black. Nobody can see anything at all. And everyone else is asleep. It's maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, and as I'm navigating through, I manage to trip over something, and I fall. And as I fall, I hit a suitcase, and that suitcase, it falls on my back. It's not super heavy. It's not anything that was like actually dangerous, but it falls, and like literal dominoes. Next thing I knew, I had like 3 suitcases on my back, and I could easily have gotten up, but I was tired. I didn't want to. So I literally fell asleep that night with like 4 suitcases on top of my back, and I was just laid out on my stomach. And the confusion of everybody as they woke up in the morning, like at first they were like, holy smokes, he's dead. He got killed by the suitcases. And they wake me up, and I'm like, and they're like trying to make sure I'm not actually dead, because that's not good. We try to on mission trips we aim for no deaths. That's generally something that we hold dear as a mission goal, not dying. And I'm like, guys, let me go back to sleep. I'm tired. So it's like so I can sleep with 5 suitcases on my back, but a perfectly nice bed, I will be up all night unable to sleep. I don't understand my brain. The human brain is weird. So that's basically what happens. Like, I'm trying to think of something else. Every time I'm doing something where every time it's either a pitch I talk at or something like that makes the viewers go up really high. Like during that story I just said, we went up to 5 viewers, and now that I'm not talking about this story, we're back down to 3. So there's something I'm doing that I need to keep doing. What else? There's got to be another story I have. On the flight back, I got in trouble with the flight attendant, because what happened was we flew back in the same type of plane. I decided to make a group chat on the display, and what I do is I use the feature they have where you can invite people from around the plane to like be part of a group chat almost. And I invited the entirety of first class to a group chat, and I'm not in first class, of course, and nothing was said at all in this group chat. The only thing that people saw when I invited them was a little notification in the corner that said like seat 205 has invited you to a group chat. Would you like to accept? And this apparently really struck a nerve in one first class passenger, because they're like, this is clearly not okay. And they get a flight attendant, from what I know, and next thing I knew, where I was sitting, and there's 3 seats. It's me in the middle, and my friend, and my other friend on the other side, and that's how we're sitting. And my friend taps me on the shoulder because I have headphones on as I'm looking at the screen, and it's a flight attendant and a passenger, and I'm like, "What's up?" And they're like, "So it's been brought to our attention that someone around here has." Oh, but it's a little. You don't even get a little sound. It's like a little bell in the corner that you just see pop up, and it's like it goes away after a bit, and it's just like whatever. Either way, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. And they're like, it's been brought to our attention that someone in this row has been disturbing first class, and I did this once. I made the group chat one time, and nothing was said. So, but apparently this was very disturbing to them, and I was like, that was me, my bad. It was my fault, and they go back and sit down, and but like in that moment, I was like thinking like, what are they gonna do? Kick me off the plane? We're over the middle of like the Amazon rainforest. There's nothing that's gonna happen. But no, of course I was like, I apologize. Won't happen again. I won't do any of it. And I'm hearing my plane do something. So let's see where we are. So we're about a quarter of the way. Okay. Let's see. What else? Ooh, I might want to add some text on here that says I'm sharing stories, because people can be confused joining thinking one thing. Either way, trying to think. I know that there are other stories from there. Most of them I have written down on a doc that I'm gonna have for a video, but I think overall, dang, 18 views. I'm doing something right. Okay. Sorry, I'm really excited because this is more viewers than I usually have, which is so. Oh my dude, Brazil was it was literally life changing for me, and I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to make a flight stream religious. So I'm just saying that I had a lot of I have a lot of good memories from Brazil. It was a good trip. Yeah, and not to mention it was just very it kind of not humbled. I think that's the word, but I might be using that wrong. Because part of what we did was we went to favelas, which are like the poorer areas of Brazil, in which you have it's like, I'm gonna use the word slum. I don't mean this in a really negative way. The people who are there are really nice. I met a ton of people who were from the favelas, but that where they live, the living situation for a lot of those people is honestly heartbreaking. There was one person who we visited, and it was a mother and a son, and the son had a this health disability, or health problem, where when he was born I think it was with a lack of oxygen to his brain. So he had this whole list of health complications, and they lived in this house that was basically, I would go as far as to say that the house they lived in was probably smaller than my room. Their entire house, so that included the bathroom, their kitchen, and the one bed that they had. And it was honestly it's I have, in that moment I was like, this is showing, or in that moment I was like, I can't complain. I have nothing to complain about, complaining about like not getting something for Christmas. Honestly, they would there are people around the world who would kill to be in the position I'm in, so I don't have any right to complain about what I do or don't have. So Brazil really, I think humbled is the right word, but that's one of the things I really liked about it. And like I said, I met a ton of really cool people. I have I know people I still talk to this day. I'm headed back to Brazil this summer, and yeah, Brazil was like literally a highlight of my life. Um, yeah, humble is right. Okay. Um, and yeah, it's a we did, there I want to say so much, but I'm not trying to, there's 4 people who are watching. This isn't going to spoil it for everybody, the actual video I'm going to do, but the thing we did in Brazil was part of what we did was um like children's ministry. So we put on kids camps and did we gave them like activities to do, and a ton of stuff. They really liked it. They loved it. It was and but it was difficult for me because I don't know Portuguese. By the end of the trip, knew the word I knew how to say cat in in Portuguese, and trust me, if I got lost in Brazil or something happened and I needed to learn how to speak, or I needed to know Portuguese to get back to where I needed to be, I'm not gonna get far with only knowing how to say cat. So it was very hard to at the very beginning to communicate with these kids, but over time, it was like it was almost like we could communicate without talking. It was like you just kind of knew what the other person was trying to get across, um, and which was pretty cool. We during the kids camp, one of the things we did was we'd put on plays, and the kids absolutely loved the plays. They like it, when they heard that we were doing the play, they would all run over and sit down, and they were so excited to get to watch it. And for this one specific camp that we were doing, I wasn't in the play. This one was the one I sat out of. And there's this kid who we had talked to earlier. I think he was probably around 10, and he something was going on, but I couldn't figure out what it was, and I wasn't trying to be like, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong. I had talked to the translator, and I had been like, could we try to see maybe what's going on and if there's anything we could do to help him. And the kid was like, he wasn't very clear in what he said. So I kind of just sat down next to him as the play went on, and like it was man, he was like, he started crying, and I was like, hey man, and I'm like, and the translator's still there, and I'm like talking to a translator, and he's talking to this kid, and I was like, I'm like, what's wrong? And after the play's done, he starts talking to the translator, and it turns out this entire time he hadn't been sad. It was the first time he had actually been like with other kids in a place that he wasn't getting bullied. It's confusing at first. I'm not explaining it as well as I should be able to, but basically this kid was not sad. He was just so unbelievably overjoyed that he was able to be somewhere where people weren't rude to him, that like he just couldn't really contain it. And that, like, I think that was the first time. That was a day 2 of Brazil. I remember after I heard this, I was like, I'm gonna need a second. I go somewhere and I just bawled my eyes out. It was, man, it was like, it was something else. Yeah, and I got in contact with his mom, and what had happened. Basically, I have to be careful because of YouTube rules. Basically, he had been bullied for most of his life, and we had given him this place where he could just be a kid, um, and he, um, like, and what my worry was that after we left, stuff was going to go back to how it was. He was going to get bullied and go down this path that I would absolutely hate for him to go down. And I've checked in maybe once or twice. I it's like I said, it was like basically 2 years ago, and I'd say I check in like over text with the mom once every few months. I remember originally right when we got back, I would check in like once a week, if not even more frequent. And as of the last time I talked with her, he is like it is like a completely different kid. He is so happy all the time, and he always is asking like when we're gonna come back, which is the biggest reason because we didn't know if we were gonna go back, but once I heard like how much of a change we had made, that's when I started going to our youth pastor and being like, can we go back? And then they're like, she's like, well, we could, but it costs a lot of money. We'd have to save up. And I just kept asking. I was like, I'll be able to make this work. I could it'll work. So I was part of the reason that we're able to go back. And I've communicated with parents in back there in Brazil who their younger ones, we were able to help like give them a better social situation. I guess that's definitely not how it should be worded. That sounds not right, but there a lot of people are excited, and it's confirmed that we're going. Actually, I think I actually turned in my like official application to go back like a month ago, so I'm officially going back. Overall, like I said, Brazil was a great experience, not just for me, but for everybody else who went. And I have 500 photos, I think, if not more, of the trip. So once I go through and censor every single personal detail, which is like everyone's faces, unless they're okay with it, and like pretty much everything, I'll be able to pick out a few for the video, which will hopefully come out within a month, I'd say. Probably within a month I'll get the video out, which would be really really nice because I think you guys will really like it. I'm gonna have a section that's talking about funny stories from there, change we made, and what we learned from it. And I think it's going to be a really good video because as of recently, I'll be honest with you guys, the videos I put out are low quality and I'm not really a fan of them. I feel like I rush my videos, which is not what I want. I want to put out at least semi good content, and that's okay. So all right, we're basically about halfway there, and we want to